It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday, August 29th, 2023. Please comment, like, and subscribe. For YouTube, of course. Big things are happening today. The MyTeam dev blog was released, was given upon us for us to embrace. We liked what we saw. We didn't like what we saw. There was a lot to see. You know, there was a lot going on with it. This week has been quite a week as far as NBA 2K24 news. It's been a lot to consume, a lot to take in. So sometimes when there's so much stuff to take in a game like ours, you invite your friends to help you download it and digest it. And that's kind of what I've been doing the last 30 some weeks, is building a team of super friends to help me prep for 2K24. Yep, this whole thing has just been a preparation. 2K23 has just been a preparation for 2K24. And finally have the super team. And one of the people on the super team, of course, Jimmy. How are you doing today?
Hey Tim, anything happened today?
Not a whole lot. I think everybody's just kind of waiting around to play the same game next week.
You and Raul?
Yeah, me and Raul, and I'm saying, hey, there's this, and hey, there's this, and he's like, hey, you gonna finish that? And I'm like, hey, this sauce is a lot hotter than he told me it was gonna be, you know, that kind of thing. You know, and dev blogs, a lot of stuff that I can only talk to a certain group of friends about, and a very tight knit group of friends. You know, when we start talking about 2K and 2K23. And 2K24. You know, we wrapped it up last week, 2K23, and now with 2K24 coming, it's like they hit the back in the olden days on Nintendo, you push a reset button. It was a literal button that said reset, and it almost feels a lot like they did that with a lot of things. And I know there's an old phrase that we plan, God laughs. You know, that you know, we plan, Ronnie laughs. Isn't that what it is in 2K terms? And so I had this whole MT strategy going like this. Okay, this is how I'm going to approach 2K24. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And then you see the dev blog. You see the news. And you see bits and pieces. And you see your plan start to get knocked away piece by piece, and then you're thinking, okay, well, this is different, and then you think back a little bit, and it's like, well, when I first started playing my team, I had no idea what I was doing back then, and it was fun, and like the first time I played GTA, or the first time you play a new COD and you don't know the map, you know, there's an allure to that, to the newness, to the freshness, that, you know, once in a while it's good to not know what you're doing on a video game.
So, with your plan, like, does that excite you that you have to start reset, as you said?
It was the meme. It was the meme. I even replied to Kerr of the meme that I felt that I'm fine. The kid getting interviewed before kindergarten, I believe, and he's trying to hold it all together. And on the outside, everything's good, but it's just starting to, and you're confused as you're talking. And you're confused as you're figuring it out, and you don't know if you really are fine. So, you know, it's the first day. I'm not rushing to judgment. You know, I'm still embracing the dev blog. You know, that's an old 2K23 space phrase, when you have to embrace the content.
Hey, you are ready. You are moving on to 24, man.
I am. I'm stoked. And one thing that these spaces, I felt like, and I'm old school. Okay, that's no secret. I'm old school, and so I grew up, and then also continued into talk radio. Once I got to make my own decisions as radio listening, I still listened to talk radio and a lot of sports talk radio, and. And these last couple of days, last couple of weeks, in fact, it felt like we've had on hand 2K sports talk radio.
every day.
Every day, and typically that's just with the streams and everything. But now, with the spaces that people are doing, you can call in, you can dial in, you can, get in line. On the old school stuff, there was a screener and a whole process. You'd wait in line, and man, if you were waiting in line on a talk radio show, if your friends could hear it, man, you were a celebrity. All right, and
I've called in the talk radio before. I'm 57, so
Okay.
You know how that goes.
Do you remember the question you asked?
Yeah. I was actually featured on a radio show one time. It was kind of funny. It's about my blog, but
Okay.
yeah, I called in. I used to listen to AM 1000 in Chicago all the time, and I even called in a couple times to talk about the Bulls and waffle about it. So I'm with you, man. I know how it goes, but now. Sometimes you just got to hang up and listen. That's my favorite phrase. I'll hang up and listen.
I'll hang up and listen. Yes, it is a phrase, a sports talk radio. First time, long time. That's another sports time talk radio. And like the Dan Patrick show, you wait in, you give your height and weight, and they ding a bell. It's a whole culture, Of course, we're living the 2K culture, but we've all been parts of different cultures, of different cliques, of different, and I consider myself a nerd. I find something and I get way into it, and
I've been a nerd my whole life.
Yeah, there you go. And it's certain things like that. And sports is a common thread that, you get to rub elbows with the superstars, hypothetically. And then sometimes, and even in the spaces, the 2K superstars, and I know there's a whole disconnect between how people support other people from back in the day and nowadays. But back in the day, you could be a fan of somebody and talk about somebody without, being called names for doing it. I know something changed along the way where being a supporter changed to being I'm trying to keep this PG because for real, this space is kind of my connection to a few people out there, one son that's out there. So I try not to, and I know a lot of other spaces get wildin' and stuff, and I appreciate that and I respect that. But this space is it's morphed into something that I don't want to say it's family friendly because man, it would bore the heck out of a lot of kids. But but it's something you don't have to worry too much about accidentally leaving it on, that kind of thing. And I'm proud of that. And I got to thank you for that. And I got to thank everybody that's ever spoken these spaces for that. Because nowadays we're putting them right into YouTube, and there was only one that got the yellow thing for demon, and they don't make money, of course not, but it's kind of cool to see a big dollar sign next to your video, but there's one yellow dollar sign on one of them, yeah. And if you could probably guess who it was, and that was me not being an editor. Now I edit a little bit, but of course that was Ramsey getting wild and probably about the heat or something, and it's all in good fun. Yeah, but it goes back to being able to rub shoulders with people, with celebrities, be it to call in on a talk show radio, where somebody can call in, somebody can hop into a space, a 2K space, and there's somebody like LD in there, and they waste an opportunity by calling people names, things like that. And I don't know the whole story about that, but once you're tapped into the 2K community, you're pretty much tapped in. I know more about comp than I'll ever be able to show or tell anybody, and I'm not comp just by being around people that know what they're talking about. And then of course you hear the rumors and the good and the bad and all the stuff. And so it is truly a community, and that
you learn a lot. That's for sure. You
Oh, yeah.
definitely learn a lot. I go back to 20 when I wasn't really involved or around. I was just on my personal Twitter account, just kind of seeing stuff. And obviously, I made this 2K burner account in at the start of 21 in like season 2. So there you go.
Yeah, and it's become a whole thing, and it's blossomed into a whole thing, and that's what I've noticed for me as well. That it's become I don't know. It's snowballed. It's snowballed, and it's snowballed into what the intro is tonight. And I know this might be different for people that have heard a lot of other spaces right now, but this is a little different space. The intro is treat yourself like a brand, because I was lucky enough to stumble across all of this a few years ago. And long story, I've shared it many times. You could listen to probably 6 or 7 other spaces, and I go on and on and on about how everything just started to happen. And but I've always approached it the same way. I wanted to be somebody that other people liked interacting with, and that's whether that's jokes, whether that's information or stories or waffling sessions. Or supporting a cause, which I don't know a lot of causes, but that's why a lot of people interact with a lot of people. Even into ribbing your friends, and I put quote unquote friends on there, online. And of course, I've made a few missteps along the way, mistakes, that were on me 100%, and I try to learn from them. But I've tried to really go out of my way to not disrespect anybody. Because respect isn't given. Respect is earned. And then again, that's how I've tried to do business my whole life. That's what I was taught. And so I guess it's easier for me, whether it's a tweet, whether it's a video or during a stream, or just hanging out, at lunch with me and my buddy Raul. You're gonna get the same thing with me. And the same thing, me and my friends, we all hang on to jokes far too long. I have a fantasy football draft coming up this Sunday, and I guarantee Ethan's going to make a joke about the economy and having to resort to lobster helper. Guarantee it. And that was from a Mitt Romney thing from years ago. And so the next Yow Stopper. I'm sorry if I tweet that, but it's the first thing I thought, so it's the first thing I tweet, and that's, if you see me in real life, it's working hard or hardly working. The water cooler small talk that's for a lot of people is important. Yeah,
I know exactly what you mean.
And
when I'm talking with my closest friends, my IRLs, just use the cool kids term.
Nice.
We speak in a language of inside jokes. Like, the other people who aren't around us, I'm talking like I'm a cool kid in a clique or something. But I'm just saying, like, you wouldn't get it because everything we say relates back to something else from the past. It's like an inside joke. And that sounds like what you've got going on.
Oh yeah. And now it's starting even to creep into the space. The space has a past of inside jokes. And I do wonder what Jam P's up to. And I'm hoping he's killing it in the new English speaking school, because that was important to him. Crazy stuff like that you don't get from hopping onto a video game, unless you do hop into a place like this and treat it with respect. And I've drawn some arrows for doing that, for just kind of trying to be me, somewhat smart alecky. At times, and I push the limit, but and the arrows, to the people that shoot the arrows, I say, you want to hurt me? Go right ahead if it makes you feel any better. I'm an easy target. Yeah, you're right, I talk too much. I also listen too much. I could be a cold-hearted cynic like you, but I don't want to hurt people's feelings. Well, you think what you want about me, I'm not changing. I like me. My wife likes me. My customers like me. Because I'm the real article. What you see is what you get. And that brings me back to the friends, the quote unquote friends. Because at the end of the day, we are in a situation where we don't know each other. Where everyone is a profile picture. And I sent out a tweet a couple months ago about I don't know if your profile picture is you or a rapper, and and I still believe it. Unless it's not a picture of a person at all, I don't know. Because there's a lot of music that's really good that I don't know, and and everybody being a profile picture, and I gave a copy of 2K24 to the wrong winner.
Saw that.
Yeah, and so and that just goes to show you that he made a very good effort. Oh, did I just close the space? I may have just okay. I'm reconnecting. Sorry, I was reconnecting. See, once in a while you tell a joke that's so good you just get kicked out of the whole space. So, let me get Jimmy back in here. Jeez, and I'm still on mobile. I know people are talking about it's going to be on PC. We're back. Yes, I got disconnected from my own space because I was cooking. The phone's hot right now. That's the problem. Yeah. And so, well, yeah, we're going back to I gave the copy of 2K24 or a gift card to the wrong winner because it's all just profile pictures, and a friend of 2K broke the embargo, and they have to live with that, and someone hopped in a 2K space and called a 2K celeb some derogatory terms, and they have to live with that. And somebody messed up an opportunity for someone else in the future by doing both of those things. And that sucks. But in the long run, that's life. That goes to show that even somebody that takes an opportunity that people would do backflips for and do something so selfish, so single, with one goal in mind, that they didn't think about not just what they've done for this year, but the people in the future. And then there will always be somebody bigger, somebody better, somebody stronger, somebody faster, somebody with more views, somebody with more clicks, somebody that can pull bigger numbers. There will always be that. But you have to remember to rep your brand and just be you. And the rest will fall into place. You don't need to break deals and it's wild. The world is wild. And that's my closing my intro, Jimmy. And now it's up to you. Hopefully the space is more stable now.
No, we're good. No, it's great points by you as always. But yeah, just as a content creator, Jim, this is out there to everybody because I know we got creators in here. I know there'll be creators listening to this. You got to think of yourself as a business, right? Mm-hmm. So that's how it is. That's why, like, for me, I had a class in high school where we watched Shark Tank pretty much the whole time. And I'm catching up on old episodes from back in the day when, like I said, I'm 57. Mm-hmm. So just thinking about that and thinking about how those people are marketing their businesses. And, there's brand deals, right? I had an opportunity that I turned down with a brand. And because you got to think what's right for you. Mm-hmm. So you got to constantly be thinking about that type of stuff.
Oh yeah, I got offered to promote MT selling. And, sure, yeah. And I was like, I don't think you're familiar with my content. I don't think you really watch me. Yeah. And I said, how much? No, just kidding. I didn't even ask.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that. So.
And it's one of those things that the online, the social media thing that can snowball so quick that you start to lose touch a little bit with it, and you start to think, hey, I know this person. I can trust this person. When no, neither one of those things are true.
True.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, I mean, we all make mistakes, right? None of us are perfect. I'm certainly not. I've made more than my fair share of mistakes. But at the end of the day, it's a learning experience, and you got to learn from it. Good, bad, ugly. Once I figured that out, I started to figure my life out. You can learn from everything. They say, like, either you win or you learn. So there you go.
And sometimes, seeing the space has been both for me. This Tuesday space has been both. It's been a win and a learning experience. And I can't thank everybody enough for that. And then kind of what we're doing moving forward, just so everybody knows. And the replay, this will be the first one on replay. So when you hear it, I asked a team of friends, again, a team of super friends from the MyTeam side, that are each have their own strengths that can bring to the table. Well, I guess we each had our own strengths in 2K23. Now we have to go back to the professor and get given different strengths. Or I don't know. I'm not a comic book fan, so I don't know how to really have a Super Friends analogy. Where would people go? Where would a team need to go when they needed to recoup? Not like the Fortress of Solitude, because that's Superman alone.
Oh man, that's a good question.
That's a great question. I ask the good questions up here. But that's where we went. That's where we're going. We're going to plan an attack on 2K24. And there was a space earlier today that Ty Debo was in there, and he said that he thinks that it's going to be the biggest year ever for no money spent players, or the best year ever. And he even said it was a hot take. And so I was listening there, and I said, well, he just said it's a hot take. That means I can tweet it, because he said hot take. That's like a signal. The bat signal goes up. Oh, that's a tweet. Do you use that move when you say something big? Do you say hot take?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Gotta bust it out whenever I can.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so see, sometimes my wife does the cutest thing. She'll say that's funny, and then I'll laugh. I'll be like, oh, okay, that's funny. Gotcha.
You tell your wife.
Yeah, and same thing, hot take. Oh, that's a hot take. Oh, okay, got it. I was just listening to go on and on. But there's been other things going on aside from content creation. I heard you went on a trip. Well, I guess we need to clear up one thing, Jimmy. You disrespected the Doug Christie card, and you want to clear that up for the record to put 2K23 to bed.
Yeah, I had it in my top 5. My top 5 was great. Don't get me wrong, but how Doug Christie didn't make it there is beyond me. That card single-handedly made the summer fun ever since the moment he came out. They souped him way more than ever. I remember in the very beginning of 21, there was Amethyst Doug Christie that was crazy. This card was nuts. Like, it just felt like LaMelo, right? And if I actually knew how to dribble, like, at all, which I don't, things go crazy, right? Mm-hmm. But no, Doug Christie was like that. So shout out to him.
Okay. He was pretty good. And I guess to get back to my notes, this space here, I invited Ramsey, Stogie, Allie, Heck, Spontaneous J to kind of be here for a panel every week to hang out. And then it leaves room for 3 or 4 other people to hang out each Tuesday, because this isn't one of the spaces that'll end up 7 hours. It was pushing 3 last year, and this was kind of my solution to kind of rein in the timing, and also seeing that there's so many fantastic spaces out there that there's so many opportunities to talk and speak your mind, and especially if I know I can get into a space and maybe talk to Mike Wang. You think I'm going to hang out with old Smalls, or you think I'm going to hang out with Mike Wang? Huh? Yeah, I just
want to say, so yes, I went on a trip. But I looked down at my phone. I saw over 2,000 people in that space. Yes. It's pretty dope that Mike Wang, Zach Timmerman, and LD were in there.
It's fantastic. And it goes back to, like I was saying, that there's a sports talk radio connection for me, that you can listen to the game that you're most interested in, and on all these big creators. And even the one today that TK did. It was more MyTeam centric, but there was Ty Debo, there was DBG, there was Splash, and I'm missing a whole bunch of people that are fantastic MyTeam content creators. And they're right there that you can request to speak and hop in with them. And so good on the community, good on, I guess, X. Shout out Elon Musk for doing whatever he's done to make that happen. Whatever he's had a part for it. But there'll always be room for extra speakers in the panel. There'll always be room. But going back to what I said about, I'd like my kids to listen to this eventually. That if we haven't had any tomfoolery yet, and it's been fantastic. And we've even had new speakers. We've met new friends. And I thank everybody for being respectful, for caring about your brand. And so when you re-listen to this 7 times on YouTube to motivate yourself as you get ready in the morning, care about your brand.
Right? Now that's a W. W self-promo.
Yeah. Okay, so then back to kind of what's going on recently, aside from the space and stuff. There was a kind of an event in New York. Jimmy, you know anything about this?
A little bit, yeah.
Tell me.
What do you want to know?
Okay, from Indiana back home. That's what I want to know. For when you left till you came back home. That's all I want to know.
Okay. A lot to cover, but
and you can do a Cliff's Notes. You can do a Cliff Notes, but I'm a fan. I'm a 2K fan, and you've probably told the story again, but now it's recorded on a pretty popular YouTube channel, I might say.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Absolutely.
And so for anybody lucky enough to get the opportunity to do that, what does that kind of look like? Yeah. What does it look like?
It was my second time doing that. I want to first say that doesn't happen without the community. That doesn't happen without the people who support me and my content. So big thanks to all you guys, seriously. Jack carries the stream. I've said that 1,000 times. So it was a unique event for me because I got to take my camera for the first time. I don't know why I didn't do that earlier, but I just wanted to document the event for you guys and post a lot of pics on Twitter.
You didn't take the camera? What do you mean you didn't take the camera? You didn't take the camera last year?
No, just my phone.
Jimmy, don't you have a journalism degree?
I do.
Should that be in question right now?
Remember I said I've made mistakes?
Okay.
You learn from it, right?
All right. Okay, you admitted it. All right. Okay, go on. I'm sorry. Go on.
It's all right. But, yeah, I mean, look, the most important thing, I could waffle all day about it, but what you guys really want to hear about is that the first embargo lifts tomorrow. That's 11 a.m. Eastern and 8 a.m. Pacific. So I can speak for myself. I'll have something for you guys tomorrow. But obviously it's not.
Okay, we're gonna back it up just a little bit. Man, that was a fast trip. Okay, you touched down in New York. And what happens? There's a car waiting for you with a sign that says Jimbo. It probably says Jimbo, because you can't walk past without seeing Jimbo.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
what kind of car was it?
Cadillac Escalade.
Wow. All right. Okay. And then they take you where? They swoop you away right to the hotel to get you ready, or what is that? And so that's Thursday or Friday? What day are we living in? Thursday. You touch down in New York, and it's morning, afternoon.
I got there in the afternoon. My flight left in the late morning. Thursday was National Waffle Day. Yes, that's true. So we celebrated.
Perfect.
And no, I mean, look, I could go into this whole story, but I want to give a huge shout out to Pablo, the driver. He was awesome. His son is in the Dominican Republic. He loves playing Fortnite, and he has aspirations of being a content creator for himself. I actually spoke with him on FaceTime. It was really cool. Pablo told me that he's driven Anthony Davis, James Harden, and he's like, I've had these people in here, but I've never called my son. So it was really neat. His son only speaks Spanish, so he was kind of the interpreter.
Okay.
But it was awesome, and it was a great ride to the hotel.
Does he know about Carmelo's stepping in on the corners?
I had to tell him, and I basically told him, I'm like, tell your son that he can do whatever he wants. He can post the Fortnite clips. He's like, yeah, every time he plays Fortnite, he's really good, and he wins every time. So it was neat.
There you go. Okay.
I just want to give him a huge shout out because it was my second time in New York, but it was a great welcome.
That's awesome.
I have so maybe we'll consider to be friends. I don't know.
Hey, yeah, get him in the little Waffle House.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I told him about the Waffle House. I did. He wanted to know all about it, so it was cool.
I love it. Okay, and then you arrive at your destination. This is destination 1.
Yeah. So get to the hotel, check in, and then that's shortly after that they had all the stuff out there for us, the swag bag, so to speak.
Oh yeah.
Which is, what we were given permission to post some stuff on Thursday night, which I certainly wasn't expecting, but definitely took the opportunity to do so.
Oh yeah.
And,
yep.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Take the opportunity that's presented. Luck is what? Opportunity and preparation.
Yep.
If somebody says, hey, look at this. It's got your face on it. You want to tweet it? You say, well, yeah, I want to tweet it. You kidding me? I'm going to make copies of this and put it on the Christmas cards. Because back in the day, you used to send people Christmas cards. I don't even know if that's a thing anymore.
You know what? My family still gets Christmas cards, actually. And I've taken pictures of Christmas cards for families, but that's a whole other story for another day.
Okay.
So
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at either story right there, Jimmy. That makes me feel good that there's still people out there that send Christmas cards.
For sure. So wake up on Friday real early, have breakfast. Shout out to Spatial Jones, Black Cobra. Had breakfast with those guys. And we get ready to go. And it's down the block from our hotel, literally a couple steps, and we're at the NBA headquarters.
Was that is that downtown? Like a lot of big buildings and stuff.
We were close. We were basically in Midtown Manhattan. So
big fish, big pond. Is that what you were thinking? You were thinking this is my town?
I was thinking there's a whole lot of stuff in New York, and I already see the touristy stuff. So it's a business trip, but it's also a fun trip. Oh, yeah. So get in there, sign in. Ronnie's in there. Say what's up to him. Then we were at the elevator and we're up there. And then I'm like, look, now it's time to take some pics. I'm back in my element, So let's lock in.
Oh yeah. And how does that look? Are you just like a shotgun out there? Just hey, over here, or do you set up a booth, some kind of photo booth?
No, I am walking around. I'm trying to blend in. I'm trying to capture people in their element. I'm trying to document the event for you guys because ever since I've got my camera, the best thing is that it has Wi-Fi on it. So I'm able to get the pictures straight from my camera to my phone through my app. And then I can tweet them, text them, whatever else. Dang. So that was the plan. And then it was locking in the room to play what you guys are going to see this week. That's all I can say on that.
All right. And that's good. And then so the buzz was there, and then I heard they awarded some logos.
They did.
Awesome. I'm really happy for everyone that gets logos this year. Super happy.
It was something new this year, as opposed to the last. I shout out to all those guys, man. But
why didn't you end up with one of those?
I was taking pics. I was doing my thing.
Wait. So there was a logo out there, but you decided to use your journalism degree for good. I
did. And I had to capture content, right?
Oh,
I had to get some footage for you guys because I know the embargoes obviously lift, like I said, tomorrow and then Friday, and I know I'm going to have stuff for you guys tomorrow. So it's like, all right, let's get this party started.
Did you get to talk to anybody that was there for the first time?
Yeah.
And what was their vibe? What was their mood? Were they just taken all aback by it? Were they critical of it? How did it what was the mood there? Because I know what we saw was all great, but was there times where you didn't know where to go or what to do, like, or was it all pretty much like, hey, this is streamlined. We're going here. We get to do this. Because I'm planning for next year. I'm actually taking notes for next year. So.
For sure. Okay, that's all you have to say. No, it was definitely organized. The thing was, obviously we're in New York, so it's a different type of venue. So everything was kind of spread out as opposed to LA. So you had rooms upstairs, and then you had stuff downstairs where we were all kind of mingling and all that different stuff. And that's where I was taking the pics. But yeah, I mean, it was a lot of new faces there for sure, and a lot of folks that came last year as well. So,
see, I was kind of thinking about it like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and everybody's seen that show, of course, right? Or is familiar with it. That's kind of the thing. Ronnie comes out and he does this big tour, and there's a couple of the bad ones that wander off and try to sneak footage, and they break embargoes. You know, that's what I was picturing of Community Day. It was the walkthrough of the Chocolate Factory.
I mean,
it seems like I'm right. It seems like I'm right.
We were taking pics with him. I got some pics of him and Adam Silver, which is kind of crazy to think about. That was a total surprise.
Yeah. Yeah, and see, and that's another crazy little 2K connection. My oldest son graduated from Duke, and Adam Silver was the commencement speaker just this year. And then all of a sudden he's at 2K. And so now it's, you see him there, and then you see him at Community Day. It feels like me and him are kind of friends, So there's that.
You might.
Got that going for me.
For sure. I mean, there's a connection there.
And then they bring in the championship trophy.
Yeah, for the logo stuff, for the gauntlet. I got to give a shout out real quick. Shout out to all the guys who won. That was a hell of a team.
What was that? Tell me what that was. They said, hey, everybody, 5v5 in rec, winner gets logos, go. Or what was that?
Pretty much. If you wanted to compete, you had the opportunity to do so. And yeah, it was a new thing this year. Last year we weren't able to play the rec.
No.
So.
Okay.
So that was something new. And to be honest, I wasn't really familiar with the game. So they had some different stuff this year. So, but no, I mean, again, shout out to all those guys. Bro, Fanta is one of the best 2K players I've ever seen, man. If you've never seen that guy play, obviously he's competed at the highest level. If you don't know, he played for the Raptors. But he's so good at the game, man. And he knows so much. So big shout out to that dude, man.
So wait, was there somebody on one of the teams that carried the others to the logo? Is that what you're saying?
He was the best player. Oh. I mean, all those guys are good.
Okay.
But you got to think that's the former 2K League pro, right? Yeah. And having been with him in the trenches, quote unquote, that dude's just a beast.
Yeah.
So
he'd be one of the ones you'd want to hop down next to and say, "Yep, I'll run with you." Especially for logo. Oh, that's awesome. And so everybody sat down and they got the logo thing. And then there's also some other thing that they gave away. There's like they looked like postcards. Yeah. So a lot of people went out and did quests, and it's like a lot of giveaway stuff. That was another thing new this year, and I didn't participate in that either. So you can rip me if you want to and say I didn't get the full experience. But just a situation where I was taking pics. I was in my element. I was locked in. Were you right back in the Hoosiers gym? Were you right back in the, what is that? Yep. The Hinkle Field House? Is that what it's called?
I was right there. I was right there.
All of a sudden.
My last trip to New York, where I was in Madison Square Garden taking pics, and I just felt right at home. Just kind of, like I said, blending in, getting people in their element, and just trying to take pics and like I said, document the event for you guys.
Yeah. Wow. And then so things things wrapped up, and so let's say the festivities ended that evening, and then you got to hang out, you got to rub elbows with more content creators that night.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, I saw a nice little chill vibe going on. See, and that's of all the things, and I know that the tour through the chocolate factory is awesome and everything, but but being able to sit down and trade stories with guys like Spatial Jones, with guys like Killsamoy, with guys like Jazz,
Yep.
that's the stuff. With guys like Floki, that's the stuff. That actually I wasn't jealous. I try not to get jealous at much, but that's when I was like, man, that'd be the place to be, right there. All the other stuff is awesome, but those are the conversations. That's the stuff that you guys are going to remember for years to come.
For sure.
Somebody told a joke over dinner about Floki's undercooked steak or something like that, and everybody had a laugh. That's the good stuff. That people that go and sell footage that they don't realize how dumb stuff like that is in the long run.
To me, Duke Dennis and Cat Nasty, that was awesome. Big shout out to those guys too. I was watching Cash Nasty when I was in high school. 2K15. That's a long time ago.
And the people that get to say, hey, I met the professor.
Oh, yeah. Ooh.
Hey, no, stop. Stop it. Look at you. You own the Waffle House is what I've been telling everybody. It's like, yeah, my buddy's rich. He owns the Waffle House. And they're like, yeah, that big chain? And I'm like, yes, the big chain.
That's funny.
Yeah. Oh. And so would you consider yourself a competitive MyTeam player?
No, but not in that context. But I'm inherently competitive by nature. Like, just to say it, and I want to give another shout out. I just want to give people shouts today, and I know no one's watching, so shout out to him too. But I want to give a shout out to Jimmy Crack Corn for his space last night. I mentioned that if we didn't see Limited, I would be kind of sad, and I was. But I definitely see the vision for salary cap. So I understand what they're doing with that. But Mickey Mouse rings are a thing of the past for Limited. So it was a good run.
But there's a different ring though. There's like a championship weekend? Tell me more about this.
Yeah. It looks like if you win 4 out of 7 in Unlimited over the weekend, sounds like a weekend league, which that's been a hot topic for a long time. Just letting everybody in here know. And Unlimited could definitely just seem like it's even more competitive on the weekends, and seems like you get different players and things of that nature. So that'll definitely be interesting. But yeah, I mean, RIP Limited and Draft. Limited is my favorite mode. But again, this salary cap stuff with the All-Star and the Elam ending, if you guys have never seen that, it makes for some really good basketball. I've seen it done over the summer in like the TBT tournaments and also in the G League. That could be really fun.
Yeah, that's you play the first half like a regular basketball game, and then there's a set number you got to get to in the second half.
Target score, yep. Score. They write that down in your notes. We're going to be waffling off of the target score at TK24.
I like that. And so our RIP Limited though with the custom lineups and. Or do you think Draft is going to take the place? Well, I guess Draft is out too. Salary cap mode takes the place of both of them.
Limited and Draft are gone.
And okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So Draft. I mean, listen, I played a ton of Draft, especially in 22, but I'm okay with that going. Limited hurts, but like I said, I see the vision for salary cap. I do.
Yeah. Yeah, and it could be good. There could be all kinds of things because the first paragraph of the dev blog, is that what it's called? The sideline report? Is that what's the courtside blog from the devs report? I think that's the official title. Yeah. They're talking about it's easier to make MT right away.
Yep.
Right out the gate.
Yep.
You believe them?
Yeah, I do.
Or is it breaking the embargo saying that? Have you seen the MT?
No, I mean, it's in the blog. It's public knowledge. Hey, just so anybody knows, and this is public, we did not play any MyTeam stuff out there. So, just so you guys know.
Let me just say that figures. All right, that figures they wouldn't publicize MyTeam as much. All right, that's all I'm saying. Not as an angry MyTeam player, but as an angry MyTeam player, my team needs more pub. You know, our space today got 1,000 some people, and I say our space. It wasn't mine. I wasn't even speaking in it, but I consider myself part of the MyTeam community. So I say our space that happened today during the dev vlog drop. It did numbers too. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad we had our day in the sun today.
Yeah. And shout out because TK again, because TK and Legendary Wall. I think those were the two. I don't know. I guess you can like transfer hosts and stuff. I don't know for sure with spaces, but it seems like they can go for like 14 hours and just keep on switching hosts. I don't know. But shout out the two that I saw because TK and Legendary Wall, they were killing it, and it was great combo. Very comp leaning combo, which is right up my alley.
I want to say tomorrow when the embargo lifts, you guys are gonna see. I mean, the spaces are gonna go all day and night. Oh. Like it's gonna be crazy tomorrow. like it'll might be some of the craziest stuff yet.
Oh yeah, which is great. It shows the excitement for the game. You know, I'm still excited about it. And is there anything? While I got Jimmy, I'd love for you to stick around as long as you can. Because we're going to bounce around some 2K24 things. Man, I should have just scheduled hey, Jimmy, we're going to talk about Community Day for 2 hours and go.
No, everybody would leave. Okay, enough of this waffling.
Hey, that's all right. Because we do have a couple of, I'll start putting some people in here. I got some questions for you, Jimmy, in particular. And then a couple of the panel guests like to get in here as well. And kind of discuss this because, like I said at the beginning, there's so much to take in for what's come out with the sideline reports. That the best thing to do is just kind of build a team, a podcast team, and have them help you dig through it. And so I'm glad I got you up here first. And so first of all, are you getting 2K24?
I already pre-ordered. Does that make me the problem?
What is it? If you can't be part of the problem, be all the problem. That's what that is.
Well, I pre-ordered it on the first day it was available because I want that league pass, baby. One thing about me, I'm an NBA junkie. I'm a freak with that stuff. So there you go.
And so, of all the things that you've heard about 2K24, give me one thing that has got you excited, and why.
Yeah.
Just one thing. I know that's a lot to waffle about. There's a lot to waffle about, but just one thing.
I keep it to one. Playing the game and getting XP. Because, again, I play MLB as my number 2. I'm not good at that game. Like, let's just keep it a stat. But I still get XP even if I'm horrible. So, like, you can say the agendas are cooked, quote unquote. But I don't think they are. But just playing the game, I think that's going to be big for people. And there's like a two-parter. But going along right with that is obviously leveling up in my team and my career at the same time.
Oh. The cross, what's that called? Cross progression? Is that what it's called?
Yep.
Cross progression. Okay, make sure I get because I'm thinking we're going to be saying that a lot this year as well.
We definitely are because, look, you go ahead and you just play. Let's say you play strictly my team. I know you got a park build and you're doing your thing and you're a beast, legend in the park. I get all that, but you just play strictly my team. You go ahead and you get Kyrie at level 40. Boom, you're level 40 in my career. There you go.
Is that the easy? Is it too easy that way? Are people get an angry tweet that it's too easy to get both level 40s?
I was hoping for mean, I think, especially think about it from the other side. Like, we were in a situation where the park guys come over, the creators, when there's 99 Dark Matters cards in the game, and they want to play co-op in the summer, which is great. But now they grind their park stuff, level 40, playing the rec, whatever, and then they're level 40 in my team. So they have all these rewards, and that Kyrie card will, especially with everything being capped at diamond, he'll be a monster.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. And that's another thing that came out, that was it just the first season is diamond is the highest, or did they say the first 2 seasons is diamond?
We know for sure that it's going to be the first season that with the highest being diamond cards. So I remember early 2K23, definitely a point of concern was, what's up with the lower tier cards? Is there much reason to use the emeralds or sapphires or even rubies anymore? Obviously now it's a different ball game, because you could go out there with probably some gold and emerald cards, and definitely some sapphires, and go out there and hoop. So there you go.
Yeah, it's back to season 1 vibes, where amethyst shakes get us excited.
Yeah.
As a big pack
really
ripper yourself.
No, I'm not, but really excited because, like, if you think about it, okay, everything's going to be diamond, and then what I'm really interested to see is who is going to give Brandon Roy just complete everything. Obviously, he's back. Just because he was in the Mamba Moments doesn't mean that he was necessarily going to get a card, but obviously it was confirmed that he's going to get a card today. We have not seen him in the game since 2K21. If you guys remember, especially from 2K20, how much of a beast that card was. Holy cannoli. Those good times.
So there is a whole new set of first in the worlds that people are going to have to figure out at drop.
Yep.
So
absolutely.
A whole nother race to, hey, I'm gonna pick this one. I'm gonna be the first one to put together one of these breakable cards. Have you seen this? Breakable cards or put together cards or something?
Yeah, the shattered prizes. So that again, 2K20 vibes. For those, if anybody didn't play back then, they had locker codes during the pandemic of career highlights cards, just honoring some different milestones from players. And they ended up giving out both in 2 locker codes, Derek Fisher card, that was a diamond, Robert Horry was a diamond, and they were a duo that went up to Opal. Back then there were no Dark Matter cards. So kind of a little throwback to those days. No, North Dakota days, by the way.
Oh.
Just to let you.
Oh, really? Did you get any of those done? Those the breakable cards or the card things?
They came in locker codes.
Oh, they came in locker codes. Oh, okay.
Yeah, the shattered that stuff is brand new this year. But I'm just saying that the blog mentioned that Fisher and Horry are going to have a duo, and they had a duo back.
Imagine if you had any pictures or tweets from then. You weren't tweeting as much back then, though. That's the problem.
No, I was on my personal account, and I didn't want my editor and people I knew who would be know that I played 2K. It was a much different time, Tim.
You weren't quite as excited about the sideline report?
I was excited. I was reading. I was still participating, but I was in a situation where I put in that locker code and called it a day.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's good. So now, how about one thing that you've seen, my team specific, that you don't like? And why?
Oh, man. This my biggest question right now is, what is it going to look like with the player market? Like, how is that going to work? With obviously, we know they're going to be at fixed prices. So that's the biggest question that I have. And I don't like it or dislike it at this point. I don't know enough to have an opinion on it. Obviously, like I said, I'm upset that Limited's gone. Like that hurt. I chased my Mickey Mouse ring. I took great pride in showing you guys my lineups and building lineups with you guys. But at the same time, it's just like, that's the biggest question I have. And I wish Limited had stayed along with salary cap, but I understand why it went.
Yeah.
So
to me, it's the auction house.
it's what, yeah, I know.
That's I'm still, that's the beside yourself moment where you're like, what?
It's an adjustment, right? It's an adjustment. But I have faith. I seriously have faith that you are going to cook regardless.
Yeah, sure. That's we'll figure something out. And it's like, and that's the thing. I sent the tweet about the game has changed. So now it's time to change ours. That's it's good. It's good for the fresh start. And we'll see how it goes.
Cool. Well, I've waffled for about an hour now. It's time to get somebody else up here, man. Shout out to everybody who listened to me for waffle for this long. Please go to somebody else because I don't think the people can take it anymore.
No, I appreciate you, Jimmy. Of course, it's always great to waffle. Because another person I wanted to touch base with, as always, space number 1, Ramsey. How are you doing?
What's up, Tim? How are you? I'm good.
Good. There's a lot of information out there right now. But one thing I don't know from any blog is a recent win for Ramsey.
A recent win.
A recent win. Something that made you smile.
Just seeing, seeing the enthusiasm about 2K24. I mean, I don't really know.
Okay. So are you, and I put out a poll earlier, are you a competitive MyTeam player? Like for money, for wagers, because that was a big talk earlier in TK's space about the comp side.
That was the talk earlier.
So I'm just curious. That's a question for everybody on the list. If they are a competitive MyTeam player.
No, so I'm not a competitive MyTeam player, and I think that the competitive scene to that aspect is in jeopardy for people who like to play competitively if they don't have the big tournament 250K. But that's to be determined. But that's not why I play 2K. Like, I'm gonna play 2K regardless. Like, I don't want people to, I don't want the narrative to be going into 24. If we don't have 250K, it's not going to be a good game, because that's just not true. So we need to just drop that narrative. That doesn't need to be the narrative that gets thrown around. Just because if they don't have 250K, then we can kind of realize why they don't have 250K. Now, that would be a big slight if they don't have 250K, but that's not to say they don't come up with a different, different tournament, different idea. That's to be determined. It's still early. It's not even September officially yet. So let's get a grip. Like, I'm not going to keep back and forth hearing that all weekend until September 8th. That's just not going to keep happening.
Oh yeah, and see, and I've never found it as a video game, if I'm good enough at a game, that I could potentially make money at it. So I don't know what the mindset of the comp mindset is, because it's very important. If somebody's banking on, hey, if I can do this and this and this, I'm going to make money, cash money on this game, because so I can see why it was such a big topic.
Definitely. But I just don't want people getting the swell head, because, somebody may think, I beat somebody one time, I could go in the comp, and then you get sat down really fast.
I do.
Boy, don't I know it? Yeah. So let's not get the it's not enjoyable, because listen, you don't want to get humbled. You don't want to get humbled.
No, that's good. So have you ever played video games competitively? And when I do say competitively, I mean you can make money, you can wager, you can win money, you can play tournaments, win money. Yeah.
I have played before. I only ever won like 2 tournaments, but that was back in the day. That was Ramsey in his prime of Madden for sure. That was when I was a sweat, buddy. that was the old Madden days of when you get people. It's funny hearing people like complain about the newer Maddens because I'm like, if y'all complaining about that, buddy, I used to play where you get a pick and the animation spins you all the way around and then it lets your character go. I'm like, you don't really know how good you got it compared to what we used to go through in Madden, man.
Absolutely, yeah.
But yeah. But definitely.
So I guess you can see where if all of a sudden their kind of planned on moneymaker was changed, they could be a little upset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. I get why 2K has increased, the what they're doing, to trying this, to trying that, but like, let's just, settle down here. We don't want to, set ourselves back further before we get started, because we know what, when you show somebody a good thing one time, and then it increasingly gets better every time, people, it might get out of hand and cause a little disruption. So we'll just, let's just wait a little bit on that. But
so are you getting 2K24?
I am gonna get 2K24. I probably won't have it day one, but that stance has been since the end of 23. Like,
that's a given.
I'm good off of that.
You're gonna come into the co-op bomb. Yeah, come into the co-op bomb. Yeah.
Yep.
And so
that's about right.
Of all the things that you've heard specifically today about 2K24 MyTeam, give me one thing that gets you excited and why. Just one thing. And it could be even just you get to finally fire into co-op with randoms, huh?
Yeah, I definitely like that. I mean, that approach is gonna keep a lot of people interested. I mean, it was almost like for me, seeing all the different things, it was like something new for everything. So I kind of like dabbled in everything. Like I saw that it was like new Clutch Time, which is kind of nice to see, because Clutch Time has always been like Clutch Time. I remember when Clutch Time was first dropped, and it was a mode that was fun for about the weekend, and then that was it. People were like, "This small behind court and all this and this and that," and I think they're changing the shot clock to 24 seconds. I think it is. Mm-hmm. So that's awesome for Kobe and stuff. But that's like a 24-second shot clock. Now I can run something like I think that might get people back in the clutch. Like expanding the shot clock in Clutch Time might get people back who don't really like unlimited or not don't want to get in as sweaty sometimes. They can go into Clutch Time because, I mean, if they felt rushed before, now they have a little extra more time to, get a playoff and kind of run their offense without it being like a full game, quote unquote.
Oh yeah, sometimes it's hard to even get a proper screen set, and before you know it, you're launching.
That might work, and then definitely the co-op feel. Like I think that's still gonna invite people, meeting new people more and more, because they may meet a random and then stick with them. That usually can happen. You get somebody and then get their tag, and then that's networking. So that's nice to see. The other stuff has been interesting just to see how that's going to play out, like the no auction house and stuff like that. It's going to be interesting. I'm a little disappointed just because I have a lot of people who snipe that I supported in the community. That's going to be interesting, but I have faith that they can gear their content to something else, or find something else to keep relevant. So I have faith in them to do that, because I know that's like a big hit on their specific gear to their stuff. But you gotta stay positive. You gotta keep moving. All
right. If there was one thing that you've read today, that the news we've seen, that you don't like for 2K24 MyTeam, what's that and why?
house, and then I mean, I'm still iffy about this how this comp battle pass is gonna be. I'll be quite honest with you, man. I don't like how it's looking. Like, I feel like with 2K, they see these other companies and they're trying to, because of how 23 ended, or how that whole stretch of 23 got rocky in the stretches that it did, that now they're trying to be like other, I guess, companies, and they're trying to compete where they don't compare, because I don't like this idea of the battle pass. I'm really not liking it, because I feel like it's like they may have been down in sales because of how that whole period went with the banning and all that. Then it got back when they dropped end games and people were trying I feel like they're it's just like they're right back grabbing again right away. Like I don't like Heck said it best. I shouldn't feel that it's a money grab, even if I don't participate in it. Like, I could just be like, oh, no money spent, but I still see like it feels like a money grab, and I feel like they're just trying to compete where they don't compare with other companies, because you're trying to like, oh well, this what can X, Y, and Z, and now we're doing this. It's like, man, I don't know, man. That's gonna get dangerous. Like Jazz said, that's gonna get dangerous. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's interesting questions to see how it all unfolds. And then the homework assignment for everybody on the panel is you have to come up with one question that you want the other people that are up here as speakers to answer. All right, so Ramsey, I'm gonna circle back to you. You'll be the first person to ask the question. All right, you got a good one cooking?
I'm asking anybody.
No, you'll ask everybody on the panel the question.
Okay.
Just not yet.
Yeah, okay.
Just not yet.
Gotcha.
All right. Perfect. But I did want to, it looks like we lost Evan. I wanted to try to get Evan in here real quick to see. I don't know what kind of time frame he's on. He's a busy dude in the community. Evan, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Tim. How are you tonight?
I'm doing good. We're just talking about the new 2K24 news.
Oh, cool. Isaac was telling me about that today.
Oh, really? And what did he tell you? Are you excited about it?
Oh, yeah. I can't wait I know my team's going away sometime, right?
Yeah, the auction house. The auction house is going away.
Yeah, he told me about that.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. That's for sure. It's going to be totally different.
Yeah, and it was really nice that Ramsey got to make a good point. Good to talk, Ramsey.
Yep. Great talk, Ramsey.
Thanks.
So how about a recent win for you, Evan? A recent win.
I went to a casino tonight. My dad was having a party with his office, and I won a basket of goodies.
Oh, really? Oh, really? Can you tell me one or two things that was in the basket?
Well, I won a bunch. I won a $200 gift prize of Beedra chocolate.
Oh, boy. Okay. We like that.
Yeah, I might share it with my sister.
Perfect. And the first thing you're going to do is share it, right? So all of a sudden your win becomes a bigger win.
Yes, sir. And, of course, football season's around for me.
Oh, yeah. That's coming up. You already got your tickets, your seats picked out?
Yep. We're going to have a great game. We got a pink-out game for our coach.
Okay. And who's that against?
Arkansas State.
Oh, boy. You think they're going to win? And you're an Oklahoma Sooner fan, correct?
Yes, sir. Yep. This is our home opener on Saturday.
All right. Well,
yep,
I was gonna save my my question to ask everybody till the end, but since you're up here right now, Evan, my question for the panel is: tell me about your profile picture.
Okay, well, this guy on here is a former Tennessee linebacker, and he transferred to us, and his name is Key Lawrence.
Okay.
Yeah, these guys are very friendly to me. They like to get my pictures.
I love. There you go. And so if you had to pick one position that you watch the most on football,
Listening.
which position do you watch the most?
I like the wide receivers because they make excellent catches.
Okay. You seem like a speedster. I remember there's some basketball film on Twitter about you playing basketball, so I thought...
Yeah, sometimes I like to get open and say, pass it to me.
There we go. And that's life right there. That's life, Evan, trying to get open and hopefully somebody passes it to you.
Yep, you just got to have the will and the speed to get it.
Yep. And so if you had to ask one person on the panel a question, Evan, do you want to do that? First of all, thank you for popping in, of course.
Yeah, sorry I couldn't speak earlier. My connection was kind of a little laggy.
No problem. That's why I wanted to get you to the front, because I know there's been times where I haven't been able to get you because you didn't just have time to wait around for me to say, yeah it's your turn.
I've been busy lately, but
I know that. Okay. So you get to ask one person a question.
Okie dokie. I think I'm going to go with Hollow J for this one. So Hollow J, how are you? I'm good. How are you feeling?
I'm doing great. So much news. It's like information overload today.
Yeah, that's right.
So you get to ask Jay one question, Evan. What question do you want to ask Jay?
What are you going to learn about when 2K comes out, and are you going to have like pros and cons of what you need to learn about?
Great question.
I want to learn how to dribble.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
So I think I've never been that good at it other than like a behind the back or a curry slide. So to try to learn the different flicking movements of the analog sticks, I think it'd be kind of fun to try it out.
Oh, I like that. That's a good choice.
Perfect, Evan. And once again, thanks a ton. I don't know, are you getting 2K24, you think?
I don't know if I will, but if I do, I'll let you guys know. But if I don't, I'll give you a little heads up.
Oh, yeah, let us know either way. Because I won't bore you with having to break down all the new stuff of the dev blog.
No, don't you worry. I'll be happy to keep you updated because I like to be informed.
All right. Well, good. Thank you. And thanks for picking Hollow J as well for your question.
No problem. He's a good person. He's a nice person.
Yep. And one other person, who is a nice person is Allie. Allie's going to up here to join the panel as well. Allie, how are you doing tonight?
Tim, I'm amazing. How are you?
I'm doing amazing as well. A lot of stuff, a lot of content to take in. But aside from content, there's also some wins going on. Do you have a recent win to share with the class?
Actually, tonight I'm literally like sitting by the fire right now. I don't know, the past like hour and 15 minutes I've just been, housing marshmallows, a little bit of girl dinner, and yeah, it's nice. It's such a beautiful night, and like I just feels good to be out here and like tending to the fire, just like the olden days.
There you go, the fire and the content. So are you, would you consider yourself a competitive MyTeam player?
Oh, you know me, Tim. Yes. No, I'm just kidding. I'm definitely not. I mean, this past year I didn't even play online all that much at all, so, but I'd kind of like to try this year. I don't think I'll be any good at it, and I don't think I definitely wouldn't bet on myself, but like that weekend league type thing sounds a little interesting. I'd like to see if I can kind of hold my own in that.
Okay. So have you ever played any video games competitively? Nope.
Like, maybe like a $5 Wii Sports, bowling thing against one of my brothers, but otherwise, just never.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
Hopefully you won the $5. Right?
Oh, I can't remember, but I used to get like turkeys on turkeys. I was quite the bowler there, so.
Okay. So I guess to scratch your comp itch, are you getting 2K24?
Yes, I already pre-ordered the Black Mamba edition. I was actually literally in line online today to like cancel it and upgrade to the championship edition or the anniversary, whatever it's called, I don't know. But then I was like, what are you doing? Like, if you're gonna spend an extra $100 and $20, you might as well just like buy VC. Which I know I'm also the problem. Shout out to everyone else who's the problem, but like I'm not gonna use League Pass very much. I have websites that I can watch those games illicitly if I need to, and
Sure.
So
Yep.
I think all the benefits I would get with the Championship Edition or Anniversary, I'm not sure what it's called again, but I just think it's not really worth it, and I might as well just save the money for like VC or MT. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, you never know. You pour back into packs. That's what always. As long as you have more money to put back into packs, that's the
Amen.
backbone of 2K. So of all the stuff that we've heard about my team today, give me one thing that's got you most excited about and why.
See, this one, it's kind of tough. I want it to be cheesy and kind of a cop-out and go, I'm excited for all of it, like, all together, but, honestly, I think I'm excited for cross-play the most, so that I can play with anyone I want to. I can play with you who plays on Xbox, whoever else plays on Xbox. I can play with people on PlayStation, I can just... Yep. With whomever will have me, So I think that's gonna be fun.
That's one of the biggest wins for sure. Introducing where two consoles can start talking to each other in a game is pretty big. It's overdue, but it's very big. All right, very big.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so of everything you've seen so far, 2K24. What really grinds your gears? What don't you like? And why?
Okay, so one thing, when I was reading the courtside report today, is this community feedback is in action here. And you know what? Like, at first I thought, that's a bullcrap excuse, and nobody wanted this to happen, particularly with respect to removing the auction house. Like, I don't think... and hear me out, I'm going somewhere. I don't think folks meant that that kind of thing to be like community feedback so much as they wanted to complain or vent. And I guess I particularly mean that, like, let's see, in previous years, the best player cards in the game were only directly available through the auction house at MTP prices that could feel unobtainable. And I was like, people are just complaining, like, that's not community feedback. But then I thought a little more, and it's like, you know what? Like, 2K is kind of right here, unfortunately. And, like, I think this, not unfortunately for 2K, but, like, unfortunately, it's kind of a lesson in, like, in the grand scheme of things, to be careful what you wish for, or I guess in this case complain about, because it appears more so this year than ever before that 2K is in fact listening to us, and if you're not going to be giving real actionable suggestions for ways that 2K can fix something that a lot of people are either talking about or complaining about, like, they're just going to take it into their own hands to solve. And I guess I say solve in quotes there, like, they're going to take it into their own hands to solve the problem, and their solution might just be something that nobody actually wanted in the first place, which is something that I think happened with the auction house. And if I could just add one more thing, it's not like something I'm upset about, but one, like, potential L, I think, is just the price everything's gonna be. So, like, what is the price of a Series 1 car, or the price of MT, or promo cards, or these Prime boxes, and so on, versus, like, how much MT you're actually gonna earn from playing the game? Because you saw the pictures, like, a Ruby card quick sells for 25K, so, like, how freaking much is it gonna actually cost to acquire that card? Because I'm almost certain that the quick sell value will be lower than the price the card originally costs. So, just something we'll have to keep an eye out on, and hopefully they do keep taking into consideration our feedback on that kind of thing. Like, if it's like really unattainable, I mean, like, I don't know. So those are my kind of concerns.
Yeah, you never know, but I guess it's a lot we get to unpack at least. New game, fresh start. But yeah, and so that was what you didn't like. I think you made it all the way to what you didn't like, correct? On that.
Correct.
Yeah. All right. Good. Because because there's so much to dive into as far as
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
like you said, we could pick apart the blog and piece by piece and see, well, yeah, if this Ruby card's going to be this, and now we can't make MT this way, but they say right in the beginning, hey, MT is going to be twice as easy to make. So I'm all in.
Sure hope so.
All right, and so the last thing I'll ask you to do, not yet, but it'll be the question for anybody else that's still hanging out on the panel. Something that's a burning question that you'd like to ask somebody.
Gotcha.
Yep. And because I would like to get Stogie in here, the first space, and we might bounce around the order a little bit to make it more fluid to work with everybody's schedule as we keep going on Tuesdays. But Stogie, you're up. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, Tim. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing really good, really good. I'm learning a lot. I've learned more tonight. I guess just talking to Jimmy in the first part, I learned more about the dev vlog than I really had time to dig into today. So it actually worked out very well for me, selfishly.
That's right. That's right, man.
How about a recent win? We're talking recent wins.
Well, recently I met my oldest daughter's newest boyfriend, and I don't play the gun and shovel approach with that, because you never know what might end up happening. Might be part of my family one day. So
there you go.
It was nice, like a respectful young man, and I like that she feels comfortable being able to bring them into the house. So.
That's huge. That's huge. And like you said, respectful. That goes a long way. I don't know how far it gets you in the comp scene, though, of my team. Are you a competitive MyTeam player?
No, not at all.
Have you ever played any video games competitively, like you had money on the line?
Not money. I've played a couple of video games and bar tournaments. There were bar tabs on the line. That was a while back, but one was the Tecmo Super Bowl. I played. I was fortunate enough to win that one, and another one was for Guitar Hero, and I finished second in that one. But had a good time. That was all. All it was going out and having fun, and I did.
See, and that's pretty intense. That's IRL video game tournaments, where a live audience.
Yeah. The guitar one was wild, man. Really had fun.
So what is the Guitar Hero one? Do you get the whole body moves and everything going, or are you just strictly hitting the keyboard?
When in that I was in public, so and I was trying to win, so I was strictly just hitting the stuff. But if you would have known me back in the day, IRL, I'll give you an example. One time, my wife and her friends walked in the house, and me and my buddies were playing. And when I was going through the first 3 tiers, I'd be trying to do it one-handed, and I'd have a bottle of an adult beverage in one hand and the strap around me, and trying to get through the tiers one-handed with sunglasses on because I was an idiot. And but we had a good time, It was a fun game, and tried to play it like a rock star.
Yeah. Play into the character. That's right. Dress for the job you want, not the job you have. Yeah. So, are you getting 2K24?
Of course. Yes. Pre-order.
And so, of everything we've heard, there's been a lot of information, especially on the 2K on the MyTeam side today. What has got you most excited, and why?
The salary cap format, and the reason being there, it's kind of 2 reasons. One is, when I say it levels the playing field, I mean in terms of what you can put on the court, not gameplay, because that's player predicts that. But nonetheless, you don't have to worry about facing God squads with a handful of rubies, right? But also because the games are supposed to be much quicker. Unlimited games should be over within 60% of the time or so. It sounds like the first half is 6 minutes, and then you get that 24-point jump, and you got to get to X. We don't know what X is yet in terms of what point total you have to get to, but nonetheless, those games should be much quicker. So that's why I'm looking forward to it.
Well, yeah, I would agree. And that's what the quality of life improvement.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Now, of everything we've heard about my team, what have you heard that you don't like?
Oh, when I read the courtside report at first, there was a few things that I was kind of taken back by. I don't want to say that it was necessarily negative. I was just trying to hold on to optimism. If I have to pick one thing that I would talk about in this space tonight is just taking XP agendas out of the game. I know you get MT for play. XP for play, but that concerns me that can get a little monotonous. Just turning on and playing for XP. An example being like my team wins in 2K23. If you just played triple threat offline, right? Pretty easy mode. If you stick to that same point structure, 200 wins got you 20,000 XP. Took you 13 hours, and it was pretty mindless. So I'm hoping that that's not what it turns into when you're grinding out for level 40, where it just feels like a season of domination. But I don't have yet. I'm speculating. That's one of the concerns that I would take away from it. But there's individuals I've talked to in this space earlier today, or I DM'd them or whatnot, and the only thing I would say about keeping my optimism is, I'm confident saying in this space I'm the newest 2K player. Some of you know I didn't pick it up until the middle of 2K22, and a year and a half later, I was MyTeam GOAT, and 3 months later, I'm on a panel in your space, Tim. So I bring those things up because what presented itself was a new experience a year and a half ago, and new experiences lead to new opportunities. So anybody that's reading that courtside report and sees the negatives, just try and look at it and think, what opportunity can I make out of it? Because there's going to be some there.
That's a great point. That's a great point. Yep. You never know how things will unfold. That you might have a plan, and before you know it, it's a whole different plan. And you're on 2K TV,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So good on you for that. Good stuff. So I guess the last assignment would be you have one question to ask the rest of the panel. Once we finish going around, seeing what everybody's vibe is, then you'll have one question to ask everybody else that's still up here. So
no problem.
So I appreciate you speaking, and I haven't got the chance to talk to Spontaneous Jay yet myself. And Steven Ryguy, I got you up here. Your turn's coming up for sure. But you'll also have to ask the panel the same one question. So something to think about. Jay, how you doing?
I'm doing great, and I already have my one question ready for when it's time to go round robin.
Perfect.
Hopefully other folks don't yank my question from me, but I'm excited to hear all of your answers.
Yeah, all right. I like that. Yeah, I had to spoil mine because I wanted to ask Evan. So we're talking about wins as well as 2K24, or maybe the combination of wins and 2K24. But do you have a recent win for you?
I think the recent win is I finally pulled a flawless card in 2K23, so I'm still on the game, accumulating game hours, and still having fun grading that, and it took a long time to get that flawless, so it's always fun to pull it in.
I wouldn't believe those game hours things, those game hours photos. You never know. They could be doctored. There's no way people play 2K23 as much as some of those photos show. My photo included. I know Jimmy tweeted out his top friends list. And so I guess we're both still stacking up the hours. Good on you. Flawless 10. So are you...
Yep, and I'll jump forward and say I am not comp, and I have no problem with that.
Not comp, not comp. Have you ever played in a competitive atmosphere, competitive gaming atmosphere? So we got Stogie playing the guitar in the bar live, which would be a whole nother intensity. You got Ramsey playing, Madden tournaments.
I'd say not really. I tend to like to, and this kind of feeds like one thing I'm happy about the game is I like to parlay these questions together in the interest of time, and I want to get to Steve and my guy Gristle and Ryguy right there. But I just like change. So to me, the competition is against the economy of the game. And am I salty that no auction house? No. Am I salty that hollows are actually better if you quick sell them? No. Because I like change, and I've been playing a lot of Zelda and the different shrines, and how I would treat 2K23 and 2K24. They're like different temples. One is a wind temple, and you have to have a completely different strategy and use completely different skills to beat that temple. And then there's a lightning temple, and 2K24 is like a lightning temple. It's Kobe's-Ear. We have to approach it completely different. So I don't try... I like to challenge myself to figure out what the new game is about. So I think that's a positive, and I'm not emotionally reacting to the changes. I just want to get the game in my hands when I do. And then that way I can try to figure it out.
Oh, yeah. A new game. Yeah. A new game without a roadmap. New city without a roadmap. So, it can be exciting. So I take it you are getting 2K24 then.
Yep, thanks to Carrillo and your YouTube thing. I put my comment in there 25 times now, just once, and nice. I got lucky. So happy to be part of the community and enjoying the game. Yeah, shout out
Cabrillo. I think this has to be the shout out Cabrillo moment of the space. So thanks for bringing that up, Jay. Well, yeah, great community member, hilarious guy. There's a shout out. He'll be happy with that. Twitter shark. Don't cross him. So of all the things that you've seen on 24, what's got you the most excited? The most?
I think the most excited thing I have is just, earlier DFS mentioned it, is just play any mode for XP. So that way people can have choice and just do what they want. Leading to what I don't like is that Brandon Roy is still dependent on completing both online and offline modes. If at this point people paid, or won a contest, or if I didn't win a contest, we paid for the game. Some people are paying for battle passes. I don't like cards locked behind online modes when not everyone has a good internet connection or wants to pay for the online. So I would have liked to have seen cards be attainable regardless of online or offline. But definitely good that the play aspect of it is going to help with the XP.
Oh yeah, we wanted just stuff for just playing, and so I guess that's a little bit there, a little bit of good stuff there. So I like that. Of everything you've seen now, is there something that you don't like?
Yeah, it was the offline and online thing for Roy, so I think I answered that one.
Okay, sorry. No, I'm trying to click these buttons as well.
I just roll the answers together in one thing. You're like, did he say a positive or
yeah,
negative? Or?
Yeah. See, and that's the Jimmy Crack Corn move, where before you know it, you've answered all my questions. I've just been sitting here, been entertained by you, just listening. I forget I'm actually the host. I'm like, oh yeah, I wonder who's speaking next. Oh geez, I got him.
Okay, we got each other. I got you too.
So I appreciate that. So yeah, you got the next question coming, or the one question at the end will still be coming up. But one person I haven't talked to in a while, didn't get to talk to him last week, Ryguy.
Hello.
How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing really good. Lot of news to take in. But aside from news and stuff, there's been some wins going on in the outside world and the online world. Do you have any wins? Do you have a win to talk about?
A win is I just got back to school today, so just first day of school today. was able to see some friends I didn't see over the summer, so that's a W.
Huge W. Huge W. And speaking of W's, do you ever collect W's competitively for my team? Like for money or anything? Wagers? That kind of thing?
No, I don't do wagers.
No? You're not big into the comp scene? 1v1 me, bro?
Nah.
Nah. All right. Me either. How about any video games?
I mean, I have done it in Fortnite before.
Yep. And I remember, and you may have told us about it before, and I remember you saying that.
Yeah.
But how do you think you could apply that to 2K? That type of comp situation?
I don't think so. I mean, it's just I'm a whole different person in Fortnite, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Played that game when I was a little younger, so grew up with that game. Well, technically. So that was my first sweaty online game that I played.
Okay. So are you getting 2K24?
I am.
All right. And so of all the things, we've been getting a lot of content, a lot of information, a lot of stuff. Of all the things that you've seen for 2K24, what's got you most excited and why?
I'm going to say the update to Triple Threat Online. You know, I'm a 3v3 fiend. You'll see me in co-op, Triple Threat Online. Anything that has to do with 3v3, I'll be there. So I like how it's going to be kind of like Triple Threat Offline, where it's a ladder instead of having to get up to those 3-ball drops and then you get the good rewards. So it's more of a ladder, and then they're also giving you the wheel spin, the door game they call it, which was limited, or like the vault. In each different game, I think they said it'll be like different or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to that, being able to actually get a guaranteed prize off of not having to be at that top tier of Triple Threat Online.
But yeah, it eliminates a lot of the RNG, a lot of the unknown. Something kind of replaces a little bit the agendas, but not really the XP agenda. But kind of gives you more goals to grind for.
Yeah.
And so everything you've seen, what don't you like? What are you not excited about? 2K24.
I know Stogie kind of like touched up on it, was how XP works. I don't really like that you just have to play games for XP. I think we should still have specific player challenges to gain you XP. I know they changed dynamic goals into giving you XP now, so that's a big W instead of getting 500 MT for getting a quadruple double. So that's definitely better that we're getting actual XP instead of that little amount of MT that no one needed for an insane challenge.
Mm-hmm. All right. I agree with you. there. It should be interesting all in all. And one thing that still got me excited is the cross progression.
Yeah, and I'm excited about that, so I don't have to play my career to get the level 40.
Well, you're lately kind of been known as a wreck sweat. Is that something that you see?
I'm going to be in the my career streets. You'll know that.
Yeah?
I'll be in there.
Okay. I like that.
Whether it's park, rec, the theater, if they still have it.
All of it.
I'll be there.
I like that.
Not in the comps, not on the stage, though. You won't catch me there.
Really? What would it take? What would it take to get you in the stage?
I'm not going to gamble my VC, my hard-earned VC.
Yeah.
Just to lose some comp sweats.
Yeah. Smart. That's how you start stacking. That's how you build an empire right there. You think about big goals. Another guy I know has big goals. And then again, Ryguy, the homework assignment is you get to ask one question, but it'll be for the entire panel. So everybody pretty much has to be me for a minute or 10 minutes or however long it takes to get through. And then you got to direct your question and you get to go through the panel. So it'll be great.
I have my question, so I am prepared.
All right, I love it. And another person that's always prepared is Steven. Steven, how you doing?
We are doing great today, Tim. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. We've almost come full circle, almost a year since we probably were hanging out in the space that Floki and Jimmy put on way back in the day.
52 weeks, man.
Isn't that wild?
That's a long time.
That is wild. And so how give me a recent win. You know, we're talking about wins because being friends for a year now, that's a win. You know?
That most definitely is a win. But actually, I'm going to shift that to my grandma. Actually stopped by my job today and gave me basically my birthday gift, which was a little man bag. So it was something I actually needed. So I really appreciated that, and it kind of shocked me because I treated her like a regular customer, and then I was like, oh my God, that's my grandma. So it actually touched my heart.
Wow. That is a win. That's a huge win. That's awesome. What was the best thing in the bag? Was it like some skin cream or man bag?
She just gave me 2 bags.
Oh, just 2 bags instead.
Little kind of, yeah.
That's the best. And so you get to open it and see what all she thought that you're going to need right now.
We had talked about it in the past because her little friend has one and he loves it, and he tried to get me to get one. So I could go on a story about that, but let's keep it going.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So are you a competitive MyTeam player?
No, I would consider myself a collector at heart.
Okay. You never roll the ball out there for some cheddar on the line, some bread on the line?
No.
Okay. What about in any game?
Cheddar for this game was for some VC.
Oh yeah. Yeah, a comp credit card. There you go.
Too many times. It wasn't the credit card, Tim.
That's no good.
That's the sad part.
Hey.
All right, keep going.
Yeah. What about any video game? Any type of competitive gaming situation? Do you ever put yourself in that?
I've never bet money, but I have bet against my friends to do. We've done like little tournaments and stuff, and we say, "Oh, you gotta text or call this person." So I guess in that sense, yeah, I am. But it's more for fun kind of games than it is serious.
Okay. More for bragging rights.
Bragging rights a lot of the time, yeah, that as well.
Yeah, and a lot of time that's a lot.
Those get intense.
Mm-hmm.
Those get intense.
Yeah. That's we won't get too much into that. That gets into the not safe for work back and forth banter that me and my buddies had. Yeah.
Most definitely.
Yeah, you'd rather be playing somebody online for money than some of the situations we were in. Some of the trash talking. Talk about feeling bad about yourself. Yeah. So are you getting 2K24?
I second you on that. Before I answer that question, I would like to vehemently apologize to everyone in the community that I have over-explained the reason as to why I'm not getting 2K for the past month. Because I'll be damned. Today I folded. I'm buying the game, y'all.
I love those tweets. I love the, hey, I'm done forever reinstalling. I love those. Those are my favorites.
I will say,
you got ahead. You got ahead of the uninstall. See, that's actually revolutionary, Steven. You're ahead of the I'm uninstalling the game train. You were on the I'm not even buying it, and then you're buying it train.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So.
I would have went as far as I could down the road and then came right back.
That's right. I like that. That's an interesting approach. To take. Yeah.
But my focus will be on other things and not nearly as much as 2K. But because this year I want to enjoy it with the people I play it with and enjoy the game for what it is.
Oh yeah.
And not try to extract every little bit I can out of it.
And so something must have happened today that got you excited enough to, let all your loyal followers down and buy the game. What was the news? What was the thing that did it for you? What happened? What changed?
I couldn't pinpoint one thing. I really couldn't.
Really?
But if I were to go off the top of my head, from what I can remember I looked at before work, I think there's kind of the revamping of the entire MyTeam mode itself. Because from my perspective, being a collector who I would say aggressively played the game, I didn't enjoy spending money, but I spent money on the players that I wanted. And I feel like being able to do that without kind of this empty kind of black market where it's like, oh, I can get the players I want, but I have to risk basically playing the game for the rest of the year to get them. So it eliminates that kind of fear for me. And I think that's probably the thing I was most excited for. Because now I get to be a collector just casually playing the game. And as well as the cross progression. Don't even get me started on that. That actually gets me way too excited.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, you speak about the game like you're going to play it casually. Let me just say that. I don't believe you on that. But that's good. That's good. Might as well go all in. Might as well go from anti not even getting the game to, hey, I'm going to be first in the world at level 40 on both consoles.
No, I can't do it on both consoles. I do it on one.
All right, I like that. That's a start. That's a start. You'll never be able to do it on both consoles unless you first do it on one.
Exactly.
You know, that's the big thing. But okay.
Mindset into a grind set.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll back up a little bit. Back when you were campaigning against 2K, the one-man campaign. Nobody buy it. What didn't you like, or what? Maybe now that you heard what you heard today, even though you made the purchase, what don't you like still from the news today that we're gonna wait and see?
The only thing that I can think of off the top of my head, limited being gone, really. But I feel like the replacement with salary cap, depending on how well they do it, can eliminate that, so it won't necessarily be something I'll think about.
Yeah, limited is rough. But yeah, but again, it goes back to they added clutch time last year. They added co-op this year. You know, there's things moving, there's things shaking. It's
evolving.
Yeah. So at least in the long run, the big picture, Jimmy is trying to fix his game. But I guess we'll see. We'll wait on the results.
I'm surprised he's going this far, man. He's doing a hell of a job.
Yep. And so I don't know if you heard the homework assignment that everybody has a question to ask the rest of the panel.
See, the one person I wanted to phrase my question to isn't up here.
But it's a question. Okay, then I guess you'll have to rethink your question then. So that's and again, everybody, thank you for participating in these questions so far. But now, the roles reversed. The script is flipped. It's question times for you guys. Yeah, things evolve, things change. So I won't. Steven, you don't get to go first then. Okay, I don't want to put you on the spot because I don't. And but who we will wait a second. We got to get Jimmy Crackhorn in here. Jimmy Crackhorn, yo.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Scott Hall, hey yo.
Yeah. R.I.P. Scott Hall. R.I.P. Scott Hall. Right.
Yeah, great one.
How you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks for asking, Tim, and thanks for hosting and dealing with me through some of the technical issues that I had with trying to establish a connection to the space.
Hey, I got kicked out of my own space earlier, so I totally get it. I totally get it. So how about a recent win? We're talking recent wins. Maybe not 2K, maybe 2K, but something that makes you smile.
For me, I think it would be more people getting involved in hosting spaces. I think that it's something that's really cool to see. It's a little intimidating, seeing that so many of these people are having like 1,000 people in their space, and it's just like popping off like crazy. But I also view it as a really great way to communicate. I liked your analogy earlier about like it being like talk radio, because I think it does give people an open forum. It does allow for a more free expression of ideas, and in an audio format that I think, as a person who used to, every Sunday at 7 p.m. my grandpa would call me. He wouldn't call me, he'd call our house and talk to my parents, and then the expectation is that I would at some point talk to him and get on the phone. So the audio sharing of stories through, how people used to tell stories back in the day before there was like formal writing systems, and I'm not taking it that seriously, but I'm also saying that it's really cool to see people that are really engaging with the space, to see a space that happened earlier today with so many different people, and to know that you can probably like, when this space is over, leave this space and jump into another space that might be talking about something similar.
Yes.
Or if not specifically the MyTeam game mode, something about 2K. So I think that's just been really cool for me to see. And
One person I'd shout out in that respect is Big Heck. I know he may not be here in the physical form, but he's here in spirit.
He is.
And I think he had a really great space on Friday. And I just want to, kind of point to that general idea of the Twitter Spaces and just how much I've been able to engage with other people and kind of learn from them about their experiences.
100%. Yeah, it's created my content creation career.
And doesn't it feel like you got in before it was a thing, and now everybody's kind of taking it on? It's like the ultimate stealing of a tweet.
No, I know I wasn't the original space guy. I know that.
But you developed consistency within the sort of application of the format. Can you not take credit for that? And hosting, I think we're on like 55 or something around then.
It seems a bit excessive. What I do, it seems a bit excessive. I'll give you that.
Yeah. So I know you're always one to deflect him, but I also view it as like showing other people the roadmap and showing how important consistency and effort is. And I know it's not easy to engage fully with others for 2 hours when you have a full-time job and other commitments. So I think that's cool to see other people, and even when I'm in a host of or in a space with other creators that are hosting, they're like, when are we going to do the next one? I'm kind of talking out loud about that. It's just kind of cool to see that energy and the energy that people have, and that I can learn from new people that I haven't really interacted too much with in the community up to this point.
Oh yeah. Yep. Shout out Spaces and shout out anybody that puts them on, and plus anybody that hops in and speaks.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing. It's a whole new world.
Exactly.
But one thing that isn't a new world is competitive MyTeam. It's been around a little bit.
Yes.
Are you in the competitive scene?
No, I'm not. I'm shedding a tear for my low-tier comp mode limited being gone. I think maybe me, Stogie, and DFS might be the only people who could be sad to see it go. But I find myself that when I even play online casually, I get a little bit too worked up. I get a little bit too competitive with myself in the game, and it doesn't cause me to have a very good experience when I'm trying to just play the game to relax. So I tend to stick to the online modes. That's a little bit more where my comfort zone is, but I think it also allows me to engage with the mode in a way that I prefer, which is I'm not putting on the headband. I'm not sweating out the game. I'm not completely locked in, 6 inches away from my monitor. I'm more of a person that's feet kicked up on the sofa and just trying to, ball out with my favorite cards. Was I ever comp in a video game? Closest I've ever been to comp was 007 GoldenEye on 64. Me and my friends, there weren't formal tournaments around then, as you know, but me and my friends, we would have many a couch battle, and the marks that I would most frequently find myself getting in that, because when you would when you would finish a match, they tell you how you did in the form of like, this is how you're rated, and my ratings that I took the most pride in were most deadly and most dishonorable. I did not care how I dispatched you as long as I did it. So there's no honor in that, just like there's not a ton of honor generally in video games, but I also find it kind of fun, and I found it fun to, those days of couch gaming with our buddies that we've talked about, Tim. So that's when I was, a little bit more comp, a little bit more concerned about, not as concerned, I guess, about my mental health when it related to, like, who was beating me. Now I can't take a loss, and I get a little bit upset with myself.
Yeah, that's evolution right there, too.
It is.
So are you getting 2K24?
Yeah, I got excited and pre-ordered the deluxe edition back when it was on like the week where you got like the free agent Wemby card. Mm-hmm. So I'm locked in. I haven't canceled my pre-order, and I'm excited to hopefully take part in the co-op glitch where you can use free agents without it counting against their like total game numbers.
You're going to be everybody's.
That wasn't mentioned.
Yeah, there was nothing mentioned about
in the
that.
blog.
It wasn't.
There was no mention about that free agent LeBron. They could have said, but you can only play him for 5 games. I think there's a lot of assumed knowledge in that, it's a free agent, so we're only going to get to play using 5 games. I don't know. Who knows? So, yeah, I think it's my primary form of entertainment. It allows me to engage with the community like the one you've built here and engage with on Twitter. And, when I put in $150 or maybe more, and I get literally a year's worth of entertainment for approximately 2 hours every night, I think that's really a great value.
Yeah, it is how you use it as well. And any other form of entertainment, any other hobby, they cost a little bit of cash. So of the things that you've heard, that you've seen for my team, is there something in particular that gets you most excited?
I think it's the thoughtful wording around pacing of cards. I think that's a piece of feedback that they really took, and I don't want to feel the FOMO of if you don't have a full lineup of pink diamonds by, the end of season 1, then you're really going to get surpassed. Now, it might be if you don't have a full lineup of diamonds or amethysts, you might get surpassed, but that feels like it's a little bit of a more even playing field, that we won't have these absolutely juice cards that are making us feel like we're missing out if we don't have them. Even going back to like 2K22, when the highest tier in the first pack drop were diamonds. I know it changed right after that in the second pack drop with Glitch to Kembe being a diamond and being super overpowered, so it doesn't take long for them to kind of turn about. But I also think it's the way they spoke about it in the blog. I'm most excited about the pacing and being able to play with lower tier cards for longer.
Yep. Oh yeah, it gives you a little more of a look ahead, which is nice. We haven't had much of that.
No, and I think that tells us about a content roadmap too a little bit. Even though they haven't spelled out when it's going to happen, they told us that we're basically going to have diamonds through season 2.
Yeah, that's what I thought I heard something about that.
At the end of season 2.
So that means that you could be safe to get a diamond card, soup it up, and it'd be good for 2 seasons. Allegedly.
Yeah.
Okay. So what have you seen that you don't like?
I think other people have touched on it. One major way, I think the XP, I've spoken in this space previously about how I feel XP in my team is a connection between a sports game and a role-playing game. Now, you could just take your Dark Matter T-Mac and Triple Threat off online and play that. And for some people, that's appealing. But the reason I like XP is because it's the forced nature of like trying out new cards and maybe finding a card that you didn't know you'd like and you like it because you were forced to try it out. I know other people feel like that's a huge chore, but we'll agree to disagree. And just I like the perspective of like being forced to try out new cards. But really, it's the mode that I engage with most within the MyTeam mode was the auction house. That little mini game. And so knowing that that's not going to exist. RIP the shoe game, and it's just one of those things where I'm optimistic about it, but it also feels like there's a bit of sadness. I'm pouring out a little bit of that liquor for my homies. It feels like, you're in junior high and you go between 7th and 8th grade, and when you get back to 8th grade, like the whole building's different. Like they literally put the science classes where the English classes were, and your locker's in a completely different area, and you got 1,500 new students there. And it's like, this is a familiar place, and I want it to feel familiar, but it also feels very different. And we're far away from the start of it, more than a week. So I also know that it can change, but I think a lot of it right now relies on us trusting 2K to regulate the market in a way that they see fit. And my trust level with 2K and the decisions that they make being to be motivated to serve the player base versus being motivated to serve their pockets, right? Based on my experience in 23, even though it got better toward the end of the year, with the value of being able to buy cards and just the overall price in the auction house going down, and I'm not saying I would trust MT sellers to regulate those prices before I trust 2K.
Yeah.
But there's a bit of trust building that needs to happen for me to say, yes, I think this is going to be great. Because they could also, kind of what Ali was saying earlier. It's like if a Ruby's 27,000 MT, like, and we get like maybe 500 out of a triple threat offline game, like how much are we gonna have to grind to get value out of the experience? So it's a new game to adapt to, and I had a completely different approach. Like start of last year, I was like, I'm foregoing the auction house. I'm just grinding trophy case. I'm gonna actually play the game instead of just grinding the auction house. But then, you know, silly old me, by the end of it, I'm flipping shoe colorways and, you know, buying every card I want in the game and feeling like, you know, a fat cat because I was able to, you know, grade every single card in my collection and still have like 1.9 million MT left over.
Oh yeah, that's how you win. That's how you win. So yeah, it should be interesting. It's going to be interesting moving forward, for sure.
Yeah.
And but one thing we do have to move forward to our last speaker tonight. New speaker, Neemland. Neemland, is that how you say it? I think I'm speaking of another
space. Go by Neem Smalls. It's Neemland, but I just go by Neem. You know.
Neem, all right. Another space creator. I think you were doing a space today. I saw.
Yeah, I did the space earlier, and I appreciate you for having me because I've been following you for a while, T Smalls.
Hey, I know. I appreciate that. I love that. I love the fact that you're getting out there doing spaces and stuff. It's a great community. It's a cool thing. That's why I didn't even do a background check on you. I just approved you as speaker. That's wild.
I appreciate it. I really did a space. For a lot of those who didn't know, I did space because I was in TK space this morning before work, and his had crashed because, you know, he's on in Florida. He had tweeted out, and he's on hurricane watch. Yeah. So I had just made a backup space just out there, like the thought, like, why might as well make one since I seen nobody else was making one real quick because I know it was like mid-conversation.
Yep, and that's, you see that right there? That's the biggest hurdle of a lot of content creators right there. That they say, well, why should I? A lot of people don't say, well, why don't I? You know, don't put a positive spin on it, push themselves into it. So great job. And yeah, they're a lot of fun, especially getting into interact with the community. See, like right then, I didn't get to stop by your space earlier, but I had no idea what you sounded like. And that's what I love about this spaces. You get to discover what people sound like.
I definitely agree. That's definitely an interesting fact I've been discovering about these spaces.
Yeah, it changed Twitter for me months ago. That once you can start actually talking to people, it changed it to a whole new social media platform. So all in all, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. We got off work. We here. We in this for the first space I've seen since getting off.
All right. How about a recent win for you?
A recent win?
Recent win.
Honestly, I feel like every day a win as long as I'm alive.
Hey, yeah, you can't argue with that.
I'm above ground.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and a lot of people aren't. Throughout history, there's a lot more people that aren't than are.
That's a fact.
So we're living a good life. Are you a competitive MyTeam player?
See, that's kind of the biggest reason why I wanted to join this chat, because I heard that question. See, I'm like half and half, I'll say.
Okay.
I'm like, I played PL a little bit this year. This year probably was like my most competitive year, I'll say. But like, I used to be kind of more competitive in part 2, but this year I'll say I've been competitive more than casual.
Yep. And see, and that's a great point right there. If you play in Players Lounge tournaments, then you are a competitive MyTeam player, you know?
Yeah, I played Ty Debo and got beat by 60 plus, I'll admit it now.
Hey, at least it wasn't 70.
No,
right?
That's facts.
Do you play any other video games competitively?
Nah, I'll say honestly, every other game is more casually.
Have you ever gotten into any? Because I played in a Mario Brothers tournament when I was at the 13 in the mall in front of people. Yeah, it was wild. It was pretty good.
I think I had like a Smash Bros tournament I played in like a while ago, but that was about it.
Yeah, it was just all competitive MyTeam then. All right, I like that. So, are you getting 2K24?
Definitely.
All right. So
I've been waiting for all the news first.
Yeah. See, I for one have not pre-ordered yet. I've actually given out more copies of 2K than I've purchased.
That's crazy.
So I'm getting around to it. Eventually, of course, I'm going to play it. But hey, you know, it's funner to give it out right now.
I feel it.
But of everything you've heard, what's one thing that gets you excited about 2K24 MyTeam?
One thing that get me excited, honestly, I feel like we needed the auction house removed. I'm gonna be honest. Like, we gotta agree that as a community, it's kind of the reason that it's going. Like, the only thing that I feel like it downplays is the snipers. But like,
we know what we was doing. Like, to this day, we still see cars up for prices they shouldn't be up for, you know?
Yeah.
And it's kind of gotten out of control this year more than any other year.
Huh. See, and that was my the biggest thing I didn't like is the auction house gone. See, and that's the beautiful thing of the community. All right, we can see the content through two different prisms, through different eyes, and judge it as it is. To me, it was heartbreaking. To you, you celebrate it, and I respect that. I respect that.
Yeah. I want to piggyback off that real quick though. The one reason why I do say this, like, I don't want to make y'all sound like I just hate everybody who's on the auction house. Like, I honestly I tried out WWE2K like a little bit, like last month, I want to say, and they don't have an auction house. And I kind of I was tweeting a little bit about that, but nobody really picked up. Mm-hmm. And it's no auction house on there, but all the modes that are grindable, like their domination, their triple threat version, it's like so much more rewarding. So it's like I feel like that it'll actually give us more to grind for and be more enjoyable to actually play the game instead of sitting on the auction and worrying about having a snipe to increase, making MT or things like that, you know?
Yeah, that. So again, shout out Cabrillo. He called it. He was going to say that it was going to look like the WWE style, with no auction house. Interesting.
Yeah,
so,
it's a great thing to see. I like it.
Of the thing, okay, all right. So then you get to brag about what breaks my heart. How about what don't you? It's all good. What don't you like to see? What news have you seen that you're like, no, this is bad?
What news do I not like so far? That's a hard. Honestly, I feel like that one's harder than what I do like. Because I feel like I'm more excited for this year than any other year. I feel like as far as the MyTeam news I've been seeing lately.
All right, hey, I'm not going to try to talk you in. I'm not going to try to talk you in to find something wrong. Absolutely, I wouldn't do that.
There's definitely something, but I just can't think of it off the top of my head right now. That's what it is.
Yeah, well, maybe we just agree that probably the worst thing about it is the auction house being gone. I think that we can agree on that. Yeah.
I feel like it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking.
There
I just want to see how it's gonna. One reason I want to say I'm happy though. I think it'll change copy and paste lineups. I'm tired of seeing copy and paste lineups.
And one thing I didn't touch on, there was the player of the day or deal of the day on the market. Have you seen anything about that?
Yeah, I seen the little deal of the day thing they had.
So I wonder if that's going to be one player that's up for 24 hours and then you either buy him or you don't, and then the next day is a new player.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking either that or they'll have a discount for a certain player, something like that maybe, something like that. Yeah. And also something I don't know if y'all talked about yet was the way that you can, I guess, change your votes to ball drops and stuff. The switching the mini game modes.
Little bit, but didn't get into it very much.
That's something I will say I'm looking forward to.
Oh yeah, all right. I like that. And one thing though, since you did hop into the space, there's a homework assignment for the end of the space, is coming up with one question for the rest of the people up here, Neem. So
I definitely be working on that.
Yeah, I figured as a space host yourself, that'll be right up your alley. No problem, grilling people, putting people on the hot seat. We won't start with you. We won't start with you. So, but you can think about your question. And again, thank you for speaking, first time speaker. I look forward to hearing more from you this year for sure, and becoming more familiar with your game.
Thank you. I appreciate it a lot.
And good job stepping up. Hey, there was a space need, and you hopped in there and you filled it. And
no problem. Anytime.
And so we'll swing it back around to the questions. And we're going to start. It seems like forever ago I talked to you, Ramsey, but we're going to start with you. You get to steer the ship with the first question, and you get. This is the Ramsey part of the show, and then your last question will be the person that asks the next question. How about that? If we can follow that.
Okay, so I'm just supposed to ask my question?
You can pick somebody to ask him. Pick somebody to ask. Because it'll be mayhem. If you just ask a question and we wait for Stogie and Steven and Jay and Jimmy and Ryguy and Ali and Neem just to answer, no, you have to direct a question to somebody and then continue it around. No pressure, though. But the show's now in your hands.
Okay.
Unless you're not ready with your question, then I can come back to you.
Yeah, come back to me for me. Come back to me.
All right. Jay, you seem like that you may have even mentioned that you have your question ready. So.
I've been ready. I just didn't know if I was going to ask one person this or everyone this. But everyone who's a speaker, everyone who's in the chat, you could answer this yourself in your mind. But I'm going to ask my boy Gristle, if I can give you a locker code and you could pick any player, base card to start off, which player are you picking?
Please give me the 2023 MVP, Amethyst Joel Embiid, as day one card. And I would like to phrase my question right over to Jimmy Cragcorn as, who is your current favorite All-Star?
I would have to say it is Luka Doncic. I think he has put in work, as we've seen in that video that was leaked this summer on his defense. If you can unlock that and his experience playing at the international level, I can really see him making that step into being first-team All-NBA. I'm going to phrase my question to Ryguy. Ryguy, besides seeing friends that you hadn't seen since school ended, what was your favorite part of the first day, and what's one thing that you're looking forward to about this school year?
I think my favorite part of my first day was my electrical class, because it has a ton of my friends in it, and it's a really, I'm interested in learning of electrical stuff and trying to pursue a career in that. So, and now I have it every day, so I'm glad about that. And something I'm looking forward to is later this year being able to drive to school. So I'll be able to drive myself come January, I'm pretty sure.
W. Is it electrical like the technical skill, or is it electrical like electrical engineering, or kind of both?
The technical skill.
Awesome.
Like hands-on, yeah. I don't know if we're going right to me or if we're.
Yep. You get to pick. You get to pick a question.
Right.
You get to pick somebody else's question.
I was gonna ask Jay a question. What are your thoughts on being able to grade a card 3 times now instead of only 1, and not being able to change it, and then actually quick selling for more?
Great question. I think it's good, and I know Mojo asked this in another, mentioned this in another space. The question is, if your following grades are lower, you probably keep the most recent grade. So I think what I'll probably end up doing is I think it's good, and I'll grade until I get a 9 or above. But I think if I get a 9, I'll probably stop there, because the chances of getting a 7 or an 8 are probably higher than a 9. Thinking the median of that range. So I think it's a good thing. It gives us some stuff to do. The question is, how expensive will it be? So.
Yep, that's what I see too, as far as what is the cost benefit, how much it costs to regrade, and again, if you do end up with a 10, is it worth it? Is it worth it?
And Tim, I know Rye asked me, and I asked Steven to begin with, but I'm guessing you want to throw it to someone else who maybe didn't have a chance to ask a question yet.
Yes. And so it'll be Stogie. We'll let Ramsey still think about his. How about Stogie? Stogie, you're up now.
Can I ask Stogie a question?
Absolutely.
From your time playing 23 this year, who was your favorite card and why?
It is Radiant T-Mac, and it's not really close. And the reason was because they kind of took, one of the better parts of that Ricky Davis card with the Oscar Robertson upper. Then they added, my favorite base in the game, KPJ, a base, and he also, they added a lot of dribbling so he could be your primary ball handler. I mean, I brought this up in a space recently. I put him up against any end game. The only difference being defensive tendencies, really. That's what separates him from end of the year cards, not end game cards, Invincibles, others. But I love that card tremendously. I still run them, here and there.
So there's a KD and Meech, Steven and Meech, KD and Embiid battle going on Twitter right now in the comments. It's pretty funny, and it'll end up in the video. That's the funniest part about it. So all right. So you got a question for somebody, Stogie?
Yeah. Can I ask you a question, Tim?
Sure. Yeah, we can try that again.
Jazz was asking you a whole line of questions last time. You could answer one for me.
Yeah, it was rough.
So, what was your first gaming console and favorite game for it? So I guess it's a two-part question.
It was the Nintendo, the regular NES, and Wizards and Warriors was the game because I was the only one in my neighborhood that had it, and I don't know why it worked out like that. But if you wanted to watch some Wizard and Warriors action, you came over to my house.
Boots of levitation.
Boost of levitation, and I got it from my uncle. Well, my godfather. That's when I learned what a godfather was, because he was the only one of my uncles that kept buying me Christmas presents. And I was like, well, why does this guy buy me Christmas presents? And then I found, oh, okay, he's your godfather. And I was like, well, what does that mean? And okay, presents, perfect. So, yeah. So there's a whole backstory behind that one, too. But that's why. Nintendo, Wizards and Warriors, Uncle Roger, bam. So I guess it's my turn to pass a question. But my question is for everybody, so I'm going to kick it over to Allie. How about that? Allie, you get to ask somebody a question.
All right. I'm going to go with Neem because I think almost everyone else, probably except for Ramsey as well, but
Hey, perfect.
Neem, what is something you would like to accomplish this game cycle? It doesn't necessarily have to be game related, but like, what's something you want to accomplish this year?
Something I want to accomplish this year. Honestly, I just want to keep being expressing positivity throughout the community. I've been playing specifically 2K since forever. I grew up. I'm 22 now. And I've been playing 2K since I was little. And this community has been somewhat toxic and negative for as long as I was growing up. Of course we're gonna have the cringiness, we're gonna have the kids be kids, but it be grown men over here arguing with kids sometimes. It be unnecessary. We could really do better as a community, honestly. And I feel 2K would even take feedback from us better, or give us more feedback or more answers if we just had more positivity in the community. We see what EJ doing on my career side.
Oh yeah, and yeah, positivity is yeah, it's fleeting. I guess fleeting. But even Splash tweeted out something about, don't criticize people for being positive the same way we don't criticize people for being negative. Everybody's entitled for their own opinion. People are who they are.
Yeah, opinion. That's one thing I think too. Opinions. Everybody's, like you said, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. We gotta agree to disagree as well.
Yep. And if you're sick of hearing somebody's opinion, mute them or block them. That's it. That's
right. Or just don't read it. It's just a phone. We ain't forced to read the thing. We ain't forced to type the things that we type on our phones. Our fingers are not making us type the things that we think or how we really feel. That's an action we choosing to do.
Yep. Couldn't agree more. Ramsey, you ready? You ready with a question?
Yeah.
Wait. We got it. No, Neem has to ask the question first. So I'm sorry. I forgot my own.
Because Allie asked me.
Yep, Allie asked you, so you got to. And remember, this is Space 1 of this new season. We might change it up again. But yeah, Neem, you're up. You get to ask somebody any question.
I got a question for my boy Ryguy. Because I know he's still young. What made you fall in love with basketball?
I gotta be honest, it was start of 2K20. My friend got me into the game, and I just been full basketball my favorite sport since then. So I'm not really good with knowledge of basketball, but I'm kind of new to it. But I like to it's definitely one of my favorite sports now.
That's interesting. I definitely like that answer. Yeah, it's just kind of crazy, like how much a video game does, because we've not seen NBA players say they learn certain things just off a video game, like, you know.
Jaren Jackson Jr. perfect example.
Jaren Jackson Jr. and De'Aaron Fox, my two favorite examples.
There you go. And yeah, and that's kind of cool that a game would get you into a sport. Whether typically it's the opposite. A sport gets you into a game.
That's nice. I'm definitely glad I asked Ryguy, because that's interesting. I like that. I never heard it that way, so it's definitely interesting.
Yeah. Good on you, Ryguy. Good on you. Ramsey.
Yes.
You ready? Are you ready?
Yes. So the question I have is for Allie. So, I'm glad you're a part of the community. I hope it's been welcoming for the most part. What's the one out of maybe 3 goals you may have thought of so far, or ideas you may have for 24? What's the one, if you don't mind sharing, what's the one thing like you want to hone in for 2K24, just overall for yourself?
Well, thank you for saying you kind of like having me here. That's cool. I enjoy being here.
Of course.
I think honestly, I just want to like continue to I don't know how to explain it. Like, I don't want to say build a community, because we have a really great community here, but like just while I'm streaming, kind of continue to be a part of this community and build a community. I think like a tangible goal I guess I have is to get a whole bunch of followers on Twitch. So if y'all are in here and not following, you know what to do. But no, not even just followers, but like I want people to watch and enjoy. Like, I want to create content that people are going to stick around for and want to be a friend and a homie, you know? So that's what I'm looking forward to.
That's such an awesome answer. Just stack followers, all right? Stack numbers, take over 2K24 and then high step into 2K25 and do it all again.
Exactly.
That's what it is. And it's been 2K23 has been fantastic, and it has been 1,000% thanks to the community. 1,000%. And the people that, for some reason, I don't know how everything fell into the place it did. And again, it goes back to a space way back in the day, told a joke to Floki and DFS, Jimmy, and you gotta laugh and realize that, hey, I can hop in here, and there's other spaces going on. There's a huge space, All City. Hopefully when we're done here, everybody goes, and that this is recorded on YouTube, but All City TV, awesome. They got a whole crew. Oh, that's where Heck is tonight. Shout out Heck. Love that dude. Killing it. He could possibly be back next week. But all in all, any one of us could just be somebody just hanging out playing a game by themselves on their couch. And at some point, we all decided to make it a little more. Some of us make it a lot more. And so again, shout out to Jimmy, Ramsey, Stogie, Allie, Heck, and Jay that are going to be permanent part of the kind of the rotating panel. And then for Steven, we tried to get Raging in here earlier. He had previous obligations. Evan was great. Jimmy, Crack Corn, you're always great. Ryguy, pretty much family now with how much we've chatted. Neem, thanks for hopping in as a new speaker. But it is 2K24. It is what you make it. Some of my friends had the most fun in 23 on a dead, broken game, and quote unquote dead, broken game. And so if we can do that moving forward into 24, we can build on things. We can build on each other's success. Never, like I said at the beginning, somebody's always going to have more views. Somebody's always stronger, faster, louder, better. But as long as you don't lose yourself, don't keep up with the Joneses, keep up with yourself. And as long as you're making yourself proud, as long as you're providing for your family, hey, you're winning. And that's how we're going to high step into 2K24. So next Tuesday, we will all be back. Well, some of us will be back. Never expected. That one person shows up is always fantastic. And this is how I waffle. This is why I have other people close the space. Now you guys know why I had everybody else close the space, because I'll just ramble on and on and on, all the way into content drop. But
nothing wrong with that, T-Small. That's what make a good space. Keep rambling. Keep going.
Yeah. But thanks, everybody, for the support. And support is given when it's... Support is received when it's given. It's crazy. It's crazy how reciprocal things are. But we'll be back next week. Tuesday nights. Every Tuesday. For here till we're not doing it anymore. Have a great night, everybody. Oh, please comment, like, and subscribe for YouTube.